OMT Online Dynasty, we are back here. Week 1 game of the week for our 32 user Online Dynasty. If you are interested in potentially joining in the future, the link for that is in the description. It's all done through the Discord. We do have a wait list of about 20 people as of right now. We typically lose about 8 to 10 throughout the season, so as long as you got a little bit of patience, you will get a spot eventually. So week 1, we had a total of 5 user games going on this week, including our own there with Old Dominion taking down San Diego State. That one came out a couple days ago. We had James Madison taking on somebody who just took over for Louisiana Tech. Rough welcome to the league there, buddy, but we didn't have any video on that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to include anything about it, but at the end, we'll go over what happened. That's probably the worst first matchup you could have in this dynasty, is going against James Madison. So that was a tough luck of the draw for our new friend there. That leaves us 3 user games for us to cover today. Limited choices, but when one of the options is Flexbone versus Flexbone, including our reigning, defending, undisputed national champion Vancy in the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, that makes the choice pretty easy. So our game of the week will be them going up against Havs 24 and Georgia State, and we will not have any game breaks in here because we only had 2 other user games. We'll just go over the highlights of those during halftime. Those games being Rice against Texas State, an old Conference USA showdown, and Marshall versus UAB, which could have potentially been game of the week, but we just did UAB in week 0. I'm going to try to avoid doing teams back to back like that. So let's get into the action for week 1 here. We're going to have Georgia State in the Navy offense, and Vancy's actually going to be in the generic option. We'd seen Vancy quite a few times be in the Army playbook, and at the beginning of this, like when we actually get in the game, because I recorded that already, for some reason I thought they were in Navy and Navy. And I don't think Vancy's ever been in Navy, so I don't know why I thought that, but it's not. Georgia State is going to be in Navy. Vancy is going to be in the option generic. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the depth charts of these 2 squads, keeping in mind the playbooks they'll be in, because that's going to have a big effect on how you want to set these teams up. So first, Georgia State still has the Bell and Wall. I feel like it's, what was the guy that was in, played basketball for Kansas that felt like for 10 years? Perry Ellis. He's the Perry Ellis of the OMT Online Dynasty, and he's still only a junior. Magician, Option King, Shifty, and Sidestep, 91 speed. Pretty good option quarterback, but behind him, I'm almost surprised we're not playing Isaiah Marshall, just because he's got a little bit more speed. They have the exact same abilities, but Bellin's abilities are a tier higher. I don't know, you can't go too wrong with any of those guys. At halfback, we're going to have Deshaun Reeder, Shifty, Sidestep, 360. And see, this is kind of where I'm like, I understand the point about not doing manual progression, or at least setting a higher penalty, because this backfield's insane. KJ Jackson, 6'4", 225. I'm pretty sure he was a quarterback who's been converted to halfback and has been for a few years now. 99 speed, 99 XL. And then Keon Haskins with his bronze Shifty, 96 speed. So quite the backfield we got going here with Georgia State, which makes sense considering we're in the Navy offense. At fullback, it is going to be Keon Haskins. Wide receivers, not super important typically in the option playbooks, but it's nice to have a little bit of speed if they're starting to cheat a little bit too much on that run. So we got Austin McGee here. We've got Deontay Fulton and Levi Levine with a 97 speed, 6'2" wide receiver. So very solid top 3 wide receivers, very solid quarterback, good halfback. I don't know, how is this a 71 overall team? How is this a 71 overall offense? I guess the overalls of the wide receivers aren't the best. Must be a bad offensive line. Looking like that's the case. Decent, I mean, decent enough left guard, 60. Okay, so yeah, it is the offensive line kind of dragging everything down, because the skill positions of Georgia State sure look solid, but that offensive line definitely gives some concerns. We got Corey Wake on the defensive side of things with a bronze quick jump. We got nobody in the defensive line. Yeah, defensive line's a little rough, but we do have a pocket disruptor on Alex Mullings. That is nice. So yeah, I think it's the trenches really holding these overalls down, because then we get to linebackers and we got guys like Nicholas Clayton, 84 overall, 89 speed, and gold aftershock. He starts laying some hits on this Louisiana backfield. We will see if we can get some wear and tear and maybe force him to sub some other people in. And Cohen, this looks like a solid linebacker too. Bronze robber, 86 speed. Okay. Corners, good speed here. 95, 94, 94. Overall's not the best, but 6 foot, 6 foot, and then a couple 5'9" guys. Definitely looks like Georgia State emphasized speed in their off-season training, because he's got a lot of speed at the skill positions on offense and in the secondary on defense. So that is how Georgia State is set up. Let's go ahead and check out Louisiana down here. It always takes me a second to remember the alphabet. I'm 36, I'm almost 37, and I still have to go over the alphabet in my head thinking, where's L? Anyway, the Raging Cajuns still gonna have Juwan Johnson in that backfield. Magician shift. I mean, the guy's an absolute freak show. Just an absolute freak show at quarterback. Has been for a few years now. At halfback, we no longer have Harlem Berry. Thank goodness, saying as somebody who's going to have to play against Louisiana here in the future. But we do have Quentin Martin Jr., 95 speed, 98 XL, Kawan Lacey, 95 speed, and Rajay Dennis, 97 speed. So no Harlem Berry, but still a pretty good backfield. I mean, really, except for, the overalls, of course, are different, but compared to Georgia State's backfield, it's a pretty even matchup there for the most part, except abilities and overall wise. Fullback is going to be Percy Haddad. Let's see, wide receivers. Wide receivers don't really matter a ton. I think I just said that when we were going over Georgia State. What really doesn't matter is tight end. Let's see, Louisiana's offensive line. So 79. Okay. A very good left guard, 90 overall, a couple platinum abilities as a redshirt sophomore. Holy goodness. Anything else? Okay, so really offensive line, not that great outside of that one position. Really a very similar setup to what we saw with Georgia State. Really good skill position guys. Not a ton on the offensive line. Not a ton on the defensive line here either. Just some pocket disruptors, but pretty low overall on the trenches. Very, very similar setup to what we've seen with Georgia State, just Louisiana a little bit ahead in terms of overall. Same thing here at linebacker too. We got one standout with Jack Habert, platinum robber, 88 speed at 6'1", very solid. Let's see, in corners, these teams look very, very similar. One being a 71 overall and one being an 89 overall. It's really the abilities is the biggest difference, because like speed wise, this team looks very, very similar to Georgia State. And then the safeties, we really wanted Micah Strickland at ODU. Unfortunately, he ended up picking the defending national champions. Excuse me, Micah, that was kind of rude of you. But 95 speed, great abilities on him. Strong safety, Mr. Fisk. So that is the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. That is the Georgia State Panthers. We got the Navy Flexbone offense versus the generic option Flexbone offense. We're going to see a lot of new stuff from Vancy in this game that we hadn't seen in last year. Between his playoff run and the regular season, he's been mixing things up quite a bit, so that should cover everything I think that we have to cover at this point. I'm pretty sure. Let's head over to the game. Good luck to Havs. Good luck to Vancy. Let's get to it. And it is going to be Vancy starting with the ball here. This is all going to be from his point of view, by the way. And per usual, we are just going to watch the first full drive of each teams and then start jumping around a little bit. I think there's actually quite a few. I don't think we're going to have to jump around a lot. I think this is a pretty high scoring game we got here. And I don't remember if I mentioned in the intro, but the other two user games we're just going to cover at halftime, so we're not going to do any game breaks or anything like that. Right away, going to that triple option, and Juwan Johnson gets to keep it. I feel we were almost a little lucky there with Georgia State that wasn't even a bigger play, that we had one defender out there to guard the two-headed attack. And now we're going triple option to the other side. Oh my goodness. That keeps that one with Juwan Johnson again, brings him down for a gain of nothing though, gives us a 3rd and 1. But yeah, that first one looked like there was just one kind of defender who wasn't quite sure what was going on. Going out there, and he gave it his best shot. He kept him short of the sticks and what could have been a touchdown run, first play of the game. But now we got a 3rd and 1, staying in some of that shotgun set, going right up the gut. And big boy number 91 on Georgia State flies in there and makes a tackle. We got an early 4th and inches for this high-powered Louisiana offense. Goes back to the run. There's that gold aftershock coming down. He is able to pick up the first down. But that aftershock is something for us to keep in mind. We're going to see how that affects how many different running backs are we going to have to see Louisiana kind of cycle in and out if he keeps getting hit with that gold aftershock. So now we got a 1st and 10, a little more shotgun here. This is just a designed quarterback run there, and there's Juwan Johnson just gets a little bit of space towards that edge, and he just cuts so freaking quickly. And any little gap he might have in there, he's going to find. Picks up 7 yards there for Louisiana. Ball just about at midfield here already, going back to that triple option out of the split. So we are seeing Louisiana is running this offense very, very differently. Cuts right inside the user there, picks up another good rush with Juwan Johnson. But I don't think we've ever seen him run the offense quite like this before, with all the triple options coming out of the split and just so much shotgun. So it is a little bit of an extra wrinkle added here to the Vancy Louisiana offense. We're coming back out in split, and we can audible down to Flexbone normal. And we got to keep an eye on who that quarterback is, because remember from last year, he did have a left-handed quarterback he would sub in just to run rocket toss to the right. This is just going to be a standard old rocket toss to the left. I think we saw that nickel corner on the right, so we take the rocket toss to the left, and there goes Dennis. Can he get hawked down? Number 14, a great effort there by the Panthers defender, but a little bit too slow. And the high-powered Ragin' Cajuns waste no time, less than 2 minutes. Take that rocket toss, get it to your guy, get it to him in space, takes it all the way in there. Touchdown, Louisiana. And let's see how Georgia State is going to respond here. Coming out in some pistol full house. So we've seen, the one time we've seen Flexbone so far has been Vancy's rocket toss that he took for a touchdown. Now we're going a little pistol full house, going with the number 7, KJ Jackson. Took me a second to remember his name. Right up the middle there on a triple option run, picking up 6. Those are probably my favorite triple options in the game, are the ones out of full house. Just for my brain, it's so much easier for me to actually like make the read on those. Now we're actually going little play action pass, potentially had that comeback over on the right, but that defensive front, all those pocket disruptors are disrupting that pocket, getting back there, bringing down the Bellin wall. Sir Vancy, take down this wall. The Bellin wall falls early in Lafayette, 3rd and 14. Flexbone over heavy is going to be the call here. So that's another tackle over on the right, and then it's actually a tight end or a wing back over there on the left. Do a little play action, try to set up that screen. Big boy number 40 or whatever that was. Yeah, number 40 of Louisiana tried his best, but he has a little too much junk in that trailer, unable to catch up to it. But KJ Jackson takes that for a gain of 9. How aggressive do we want to get here early with Georgia State? Pretty aggressive. We are going to our Flexbone close. We are going to be going for this against a high-powered offense. I've said that so many times, but against an offense like Louisiana, I think I like going for it in this situation. I mean, there's not a ton of a difference between giving it to him. We had that right sideline. Looks like it was just shaded down. We had 5-yard hooks, hard flats. It looked like potentially could have hit that guy on the right sideline, but Bellin is just a little shook up right now, gets brought down for another sack, and Louisiana takes over at Georgia State's 21-yard lines. And now another different wrinkle we're seeing here in this Vancy offense, a little power eye. Was that triple option he came out in? But see, and then he's got this lineup set so he can actually audible down into these different Flexbone things, and it is just, gosh, I am not looking forward. We played Louisiana this year. Holy cow. The speed burst on that number 22 takes the triple option run right up the gut, and Quentin Martin Jr., just like that, in for the Louisiana touchdown. I am not looking forward to playing this team. 14-0 lead, Ragin' Cajuns. We'll jump ahead just a little bit here, get to a 3rd and 7. Georgia State just got the ball back here, only missed a couple plays, coming back out in that pistol full house here, even on a 3rd and long. And I think pocket disruptors actually work better on 3rd and long. I don't know if 7 counts as long, but that time we actually find that spot. That's the same area we had on that 4th down earlier. This time we hit it on the big 3rd down, cover 4, looked like probably just shaded underneath, or maybe even kept match. I don't know. Probably shaded underneath. Hit KJ Jackson, who I believe was a converted quarterback, if memory serves me correctly. And he is an electric factory, that KJ Jackson. He's a ton of fun. Usering Strickland, trying to get down for the rocket toss, sets up for the blocks beautifully there. That was ran very, very nicely by Habs. You know, waited just a second, let his blocks kind of set up in front of him, and then kind of take it outside and pick up your 8 yards on that. But Vancy was ready for that rocket toss, getting on Strickland, coming down and trying to set that edge. Unable to. See, there were not... Oh my goodness. Leveled, brother. There we're not really worried about the rocket toss. So that motion coming from the right to the left, for me personally, wouldn't really concern me, because I would be very surprised to see a rocket toss starting on the left hash and going to that left sideline. So now we're coming out in Flexbone empty. We know he likes his wingback sweep from this play, but he is hot routing, so this could be the actual pass. Nope, it is that wingback sweep. That is such a good freaking play, especially if you have somebody who can cut up quickly like that. Just wait for that little gap to open, especially on a 3rd and short. Shoot it up the field there, pick up your first down. Flexbone normal now for Georgia State. This could be a rocket toss. I think that's why we're up on Strickland. It is going to be X dig. Great pass play, but great defense. That's the really tough thing about using a Navy playbook against somebody who uses a Navy playbook. They kind of know the ins and outs of it a little bit. We know as soon as we see that wingback on the right go on a drag, we know that's X dig. You just follow that drag for a little bit, then drop back to the deep dig route. Great defense there. We have that seam. What a find by Halves, right up the seam just when the offense needed it the most. A little bit of momentum here for Georgia State. Great find, great ball, great touchdown. 14-7. Make it a game here. Let's go, Habs. But the Raging Cajuns do not plan to stay down for long. A gain of 3 just on their first down there, going back to that triple option, and again, just being able to keep it with Juwan Johnson. I'm just thinking of when we go against Louisiana. I probably shouldn't say these kind of things out loud, but who really cares? When we go against Louisiana, I think we have to... And there goes Juwan Johnson again. Gets him one-on-one in space. There's just nothing the defense is going to be able to do. Just that one little cut back. Able to find, because he's picking up on what the read keys are set on that Georgia State defense. He knows the user is the one responsible for taking down Juwan Johnson. Just with how this is set. He's got everybody watching the pitch man, nobody watching the quarterback. So that's why we've seen him quite a few times now keep that ball with Johnson and just cut his way around and pick up some space. But yeah, I think we're going to have to go back to when we first played Louisiana. The plan was don't let Juwan Johnson beat you. We had things set opposite to how Georgia State does. We wanted everybody focused on Johnson, make sure he can't break runs like that. If we played last year, that would have been different because he had Harlem Berry. Now that we're playing again this year, I might go back to just, you can't beat us with Juwan Johnson. Is kind of what I'm thinking right now. Again, probably shouldn't be saying this out loud, but here we are. Here we go. Let's see if Georgia State can get a little something going here with 9 seconds left here in the first quarter. That was a heck of a drive they just had against Louisiana here. Going with that run up the middle, trying to get the... I do that so much. I do that so much. Because you really do want to wait until that defender is like fully committed to going to the quarterback before you pitch that out. And if we got that pitch off, that was going to be perfect. We had nobody behind the defense there, that we were going to have so much room to run. And there goes Juwan Johnson again. See, again, because we could see this was actually a perfect example of what I was talking about. Watch number 14 on Georgia State here. Where does he go? He is just focused on that halfback, and Vancy knows that. So he is just keeping it with Juwan Johnson now and just picking them apart. Touchdown, Louisiana. I promise Georgia State starts putting some good drives, puts a few more good drives together here going forward. But yeah, you gotta mix up the read keys even a little bit. Just something, throw him off a little bit, because right now he just knows I can just keep this with Juwan Johnson. That guy, number 14 on the defense there, wasn't concerned with the quarterback at all. We can just keep this and run. Touchdown, Louisiana. But heading into the second quarter, we actually got a pretty good opening pass play there from the Panthers. Got the ball almost to midfield. See what they can draw up here as the shadows start creeping in over the field here in Lafayette. The shadows creeping in on Georgia State. Pressure on this offense to try to keep this one a ball game. The problem we have here is we're going against a team like Louisiana. And just from an overall perspective, that's a problem. Our second problem is they can control this clock. So, whoa, shovel option. I think that is the first. I don't think we've ever seen a shovel option in this online dynasty yet. And I cover the Flexbone teams all the time because I love watching a Flexbone offense. I don't think we've ever seen a shovel option before. Love to see that. That's incredible. And it was actually perfect there. That worked beautifully. Now we go with a little counter option, get the pitch off, try to get those one-on-ones, but Micah Strickland out there to keep that one from being a big gain. But I'm still just blown away we actually saw a shovel option. That's awesome. That's one play I can never get to work for me, is a shovel option. And maybe it's just because I don't call it enough. Maybe we'll have to really dedicate, and we're doing shovel option. There goes the little flipped X dig. This time we'll just take that drag to KJ Jackson. And that's what makes X dig so good, is it's going to your wingbacks, your halfbacks. It's going to guys like KJ Jackson. Last year when we saw Louisiana, when they would run X dig, it was going to Harlem Berry on that drag. And a drag coming from that spot is just so hard to defend. It really is going to have to be on your user to make a play on that, because your CPU is man coverage is never going to guard that. It runs too shallow for zones to cover unless you set like 0-yard hooks, which would be insane. But that's why XDig, very, very good play. So now Georgia State going for it on this 4th and 5, a big man blitz coming from Louisiana. Bellin's probably not going to have a whole heck of a lot of time to get rid of this one. See if he can make his read. Goes right over the middle of the field, finds his man, the big boy tight end. I believe that was Lane Waddle there, picking up that first down. Yes, indeed, number 88. Huge first down for Georgia State. I mean, desperately need some points here if we're the Panthers and we want any shot in this one. Louisiana not prone to making a ton of mistakes. We got to try to force our way. Oh, Bellin, a lot of room for Bellin. Oh, we just need, oh, he almost actually tiptoed his way all the way down there. It looked like the back or whoever that was out there was going to pick up that last block. He ended up trying to go inside and he missed the block anyway. So we had 2 defenders coming after Bellin. But the Bellin wall able to get out there and get some things moving. A 1st and goal now for Georgia State. Ball at the 6-yard line, going to some of that Navy pistol, going with the triple option, gets the pitch off, beat them all to the corner, cut it back inside. Whoa, boom, get off me. Little fella Deshaun Reeder steamrolls his way in. Beautiful answer drive there from Georgia State, gets them back on the board, gets it back to a 2-score game. Now defense, I don't know. Let's see if we can figure something out here that might work against this Louisiana offense. Well, it took about 2 or 3 plays, and we got the Raging Cajuns onto Georgia State's side of the 50 here. Ball at the 42. Coming out of some Flexbone normal. Let's see if he's going to go with X-Dig, or is this a rocket toss? It is going to be a rocket toss. Good user defense there to fly outside, set that edge, forced him to cut that up the middle and bring him down for a gain of 1. So that's just the number one thing with a rocket toss. You can't let him get outside. It's much easier said than done, especially against a super fast team like the Raging Cajuns have, but user defense like that goes a long way to taking those away. Now a 2nd and 9 in Louisiana, looking to push this one down the field here a little bit. We got a single high look that we like, so going with a little vertical, see if we can't bomb this cover 3. We put, whoa, wow, there was a lot that almost happened there. So we had Y on that streak going up the seam. That was open. But number 97 gets in there, hits him as he throws. It almost gets completed to the halfback underneath, and it's almost intercepted by the Georgia State defense. All things considered, considering the range of outcomes we could have had there, I think we take that if we're Louisiana. It could have been a touchdown, but it also could have been an interception. Little outside corner blitz. That was weird looking too. Looks like number 34 kind of bumped him on this route here. So our corner on the left is blitzing. Y gets stuck on number 34, but gets off it in time to go make that catch down the seam. Weird couple plays. Just a weird couple plays we got there. But it results in Louisiana being in the red zone all the same. Ball at the 18, a little motion triple option there. Gives it to our guy number 5 right up the gut. That is Quan Lacey, who actually we don't see a ton of in this game. You would think Quan Lacey would be one of the number 1 threats here of Louisiana, but you would think wrong. It's really, like I said, I think our main concern's got to be Jawan Johnson. We go back to that same run. This time it goes to number 22, Quentin Martin Jr. He gets that speed burst through that gap yet again, just like we saw on that dive run he had earlier. Just gets in that little bit of space, and that's all he needs. Touchdown, Louisiana. 35 points here with 2 minutes left in the half. So let's see what Georgia State can do here. 2 minutes to go until halftime. Going with that triple option again. Gets the pitch out there, but the user flying out, making that tackle. A 2nd and 14. Georgia State backs against the wall here. If we can get something before half, who started with the ball? Louisiana did. So if Georgia State can get something here before half, make it 35-21. You get the ball coming out of half. Another good drive there. Bing, bang, boom. We're back to a 1-score game. Going back to our Flexbone. Let's see. Taking a deep shot. We know there's not a ton. Oh my goodness. There's the speed of the Georgia State wide receivers coming into play. Number 19. That is Levi Levine. Taking that one all the way in for the Georgia State touchdown. 2 plays, 22 seconds, and we are back to a 2-score ball game. Now the concern is, did we leave a little too much time for Louisiana? But we can't be worried about that if we're Georgia State. We're on the board. We're back to 2 scores. We're fighting. We're battling. And now it only took Louisiana a couple of plays to get back on Georgia State's side of the 50-yard line. 1:10 to go here. Going with that fake rocket toss, rolling it out to the right, dumping one down to Haddad, our fullback, able to take that one out of bounds to the 35-yard line. Should be in field goal range here already, which this is a massive answer back from Louisiana. But being able to push this back to a 3-score game with Georgia State getting the ball coming out of half is massive. It's kind of what we were worried about with Georgia State scoring so quick. But again, if you have that opportunity, you take it. I've always been on board with that. There's that gold aftershock again on Kwan Lacey. We'll see. I mean, we haven't really noticed too much yet of that gold aftershock having a huge effect on this game, but just something to kind of keep in mind here. And we haven't really seen it light up a whole heck of a lot because it's been so much Jawan Johnson running to the outside away from that gold aftershock. So again, we go for that run right up the gut, gets brought down short of the line to gain. 3rd and 2, gonna be a timeout from the Raging Cajuns. I just realized I've been saying he's been in the Navy playbook, but Louisiana's actually, he's been in Army before. Today he's actually an option generic. So we are seeing Louisiana in a little bit of a different playbook here. Interesting. I was going to say, I don't remember all those different formations. I don't know why I even ever thought he was in Navy. I don't think he's ever been in Navy in this dynasty. He was always in Army. I don't know, but he is an option generic. that much I'm pretty confident of. So now at least that's what it says in his scheme and playbook on his coach here, which, yeah, makes sense. I think. 2nd and 3 for Louisiana. Pretty comfortably in field goal range. Maybe the shadows will mess with the kicker. I'm not entirely sure. Going with a little power read, giving it to number 5, picking up 2 yards. That's Kwan Lacey on that carry. 3rd and 1, last time out. Let's see if we're going to try to run one more play here. We are. Maybe Lacey can get something going, but nope. There's that gold aftershock, bringing him down again. Lacey brought down short of the line to gain, making a 4th and 1, and we will just take our field goal here. Again, trying to just push it to a 3-score lead heading into half with Georgia State getting the ball. Icing the kicker here. We'll see if that works out for the Panthers. Probably not at home. I don't even know if icing the kicker actually even does anything. I have no idea. But the kick's up. The kick's good. That is going to take us to halftime here with Louisiana up 38-21. Let's get to our halftime highlights here. Whoa, there we go. Where we will be starting with the old Conference USA matchup, the old Texas showdown here between Rice and Texas State in San Marcos. Early on, 5 minutes left in the first quarter, just a minute gone by. This is something we are going to see throughout this game, this power run attack of Rice. Gives it to number 21 right up the gut, gets a little one-on-one, whoop, hits a spin. And number 86, you want to block for us? No, not really, that's fine. Number 28 will just take that his dang self. Now, this looks like a replay, but it is going to be the same situation here. Number 28 on that power run to the left. Looks like Texas State's got him all bottled up, and somehow, some way, he just explodes out of there like the Incredible Hulk. Or like, you know, if you watch those old Royal Rumbles. Texas State here, by the way, 4th and goal, trying to keep this one interesting. Takes the underneath, finds his drag, punches that one in for the touchdown. But yeah, like those old Royal Rumbles where they'd all gang up on like Andre the Giant, and then he would just power out with 10 guys on top of him. That's kind of what it looked like. This one too, same thing. I don't know what Texas State's supposed to do on those two situations, those two touchdown runs, but that is another touchdown. You're going to have to pay for this damage here, by the way. Whoa, no need to throw it at their windows. Rice gets the win there, 34-14. Now we take it to Marshall and UAB, our other user game of the week. It is 7-0 lead for Marshall here in the second quarter. See, another power run game here with UAB as the Marshall safeties take each other out of the play there. The Great White Hope, number 33, takes that one all the way in for the Blazers touchdown, 7-7. Now 17-10, 36 seconds left in this ball game. UAB needs this onside kick to have any chance at making this miracle comeback. And look at this, they actually grab it. 3 guys on Marshall have a chance to pick that one up. Nobody decides to actually do it. All comes down to this, 7 seconds to go. We have him on the corner route, overthrown by the quarterback. 3 seconds left. One last shot for UAB going, which is all go. Looking for that back shoulder over there to the left. 2 Marshall defenders are there to knock that one away, and the Thundering Herd come away with a 17-10 victory. Had to make them sweat a little bit extra just with that onside kick. So Marshall gets the win, Rice gets the win, James Madison got the user win against Louisiana Tech. We can go over all that here at the end. Let's get back to the main event. And we'll jump ahead just about a minute or so. Georgia State with the ball here to start the second half. A solid opening drive going here. Got it to their own 43. Again, going for that quick pitch out to number 32. But that Louisiana defense having just none of it. Bring them down for a loss of 3. See how the Panthers respond after that one. Going to some Flexbone normal. I mean, we've seen a lot of X dig out of here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that again with number 7 on the drag going to the right. Oh, no, we got a little motion, a little load option going out to the right. We got to keep that with our quarterback. Oh, if we just didn't get tripped up by our own guy a few times there. Looked like we had some room. Looked like we potentially had some space for Bellin to be able to get out there. I think we just got a little too caught on our own offensive line. So now it's a 3rd and 10, going to some of that pistol Flexbone trips. Let's see, so we're rushing 3. We're putting a spy on one edge on defense. Okay. Let's see, it is just going to be an all go. Bellin just nowhere to go. Hits as he's thrown, an interception. Louisiana going to be taken over here with 4 minutes left in the third. Feel like that was kind of a last gasp here for the Georgia State Panthers, unfortunately. Tries to hit him deep there. We've had success throwing deep against Louisiana, so I don't hate that idea. Just the unfortunate hit as he throw, and of course then it gets intercepted. D-line picks are the worst. Gosh, they drive me nuts. So anyway, Raging Cajuns again cutting that one up. It looks like Georgia State might have actually changed that read key on that though, because they were more going after Juwan Johnson on this. Let's see. Yeah, number 21 there was actually focused in on taking away Juwan Johnson on that one. So Havs actually, I think, did change his read key there, which is a smart move, because that Johnson has just been killing us this entire game. So let's see, we're going to go with that dive right up the middle there to our big boy fullback, Haddad, picking up 8 yards, getting us that first down. Ball at the 23, up by 17. I mean, yeah, things are looking pretty good for Louisiana at this point. But, I mean, Georgia State's definitely shown some good flashes of offense. I like that they are pushing that ball downfield a little bit more. We saw a few good deep throws from Georgia State, which is not something you really expect when you go up against an offense like one of these. See this? Yeah, see, now I think Vancy noticed, okay, he switched that read key. Now we're going to have to pitch this one off. So it goes with a little counter option there, pitches it out, takes his gain of 4 as we have an injury to a Louisiana offensive lineman. So 2nd and 6, going to that power I, which I think actually has a triple option out of here. It does. I think that's exactly what that was. But our big boy full, oh my goodness. Okay, big boy number 33. Bounces off, gets a hit stick, bounces off. Big boy number 91 tries to tackle him after the hit stick. Unable to bring him down to the ground. Number 33 takes that one in for the Louisiana touchdown. And yeah, that'll just about do it for this game of the week here. Louisiana gets the win. They score a couple more times. Ends up 59-21. Raging Cajuns getting the victory here. 409 yards of offense, 340 yards on the ground, 37 carries for 340 yards. Georgia State never really able to get that run game going, but they were very effective through the air. 15 for 22, 2 touchdowns, 261 passing yards, which in the Navy playbook is pretty dang impressive. The turnovers were really the main story, and against a team like Louisiana, if you're turning that ball over, it's going to make things pretty difficult. So let's take a quick wrap around the league here, see everything that happened in week 1. Start with Conference USA. Oregon State taking care of the FCS. Good. Navy taking care of the FCS. This is another one of our newer users. Just took over the Navy midshipmen. Gets them started 1-0 here in season 4. We saw Rice take down Texas State. Louisiana beats Georgia State. Marshall beats UAB. FIU gets the huge top 10 win against the Miami Hurricanes, establishing their dominance there in Southeast Florida. Had to play twice because he was in the wrong playbook that first game, and UNLV has not played Pittsburgh yet, but he's still got a few hours, so we will see if he gets that one in there. Then the Mountain West, our Platinum top conference. JMU beats Louisiana Tech 42-7. This was our other user game, but we didn't have any video of it, so I wasn't able to include any highlights. I do just kind of want to look over the stats here. Yeah, that tough first game. Probably the hardest first game you could have in this dynasty is taking on James Madison, just with how they play. All the press man and different options and runs and things like that. It's very, very difficult way to start your run in this dynasty. Let's see. The main thing, I mean, 18 for 21 passing. That's no big surprise there. 21 for 33 for Louisiana Tech. But hey, honestly, if you go against James Madison in your first ever game in this dynasty and you don't throw an interception, that's pretty dang good. Obviously, score-wise, yeah, that could have been better, but I don't know if I've ever not thrown an interception against James Madison. I think we do it just about every time. So if you get through there and not turn it over, that's a step in the right direction. ODU takes down San Diego State. Of course, we knew that. Buffalo had quite a few, I think, internet issues or Xbox issues, something. Had to restart a few times against Ohio State. But he did send, proof and let me know what was going on, so a-okay to replay that one a few times. If your internet crashes or your Xbox crashes, I'm not going to make you take a loss to the CPU because of stuff like that. Elsewhere, Utah State beats FCS 70-3. Toledo keeps their march going here, took down Alabama in week 0, takes down Clemson in week 1. Let's go to the Sun Belts. This is our bronze conference. Louisiana Tech in there. Georgia Southern hasn't played NIU yet. Let's go Huskies. Nothing against you there, Zach, but let's go NIU. UTSA takes on their former team, Western Kentucky, and takes the loss there, 46-38. He just made Western Kentucky too good, apparently, before leaving. Southern Miss has not played Miami yet. I'm still hoping Southern Miss is going to be involved in this dynasty going forward. I messaged him during the offseason. He said he would be. We will see. Temple falls in Norman to Oklahoma. Colorado State wins in the desert, taking down Arizona. Fresno State has not played. Oh, I think they're actually playing right now, playing against Stanford. Then our last conference, the American. This is our silver conference. Appalachian State gets the huge rivalry win against top 15 North Carolina. USF takes down UConn. Washington State falls to top 25 Louisville. Army heads into Atlanta, takes down Georgia Tech. Sam Houston beats Houston. Who's the real Houston now? Houston, we have a problem. I could go all day. Sam Houston gets that win 35-3. Bowling Green takes down the FCS 77-3, and Marshall and UAB, we saw that one already. So that is a full wrap on everything that happened here in week 1, at least so far. Hopefully we get some of those more CPU games played. But that's where we're at. That's where we're sitting next up in week 2. A little preview for you. Oh, there it is right there. Old Dominion will be taking on the Army Black Knights. That will be our next video here, our user game against Timeless Raven. And last year we played Army, went to double overtime, and Old Dominion won on a 2-point conversion. So we'll see how it goes this year. So that'll be our next video. Then we'll have a game of the week. I think we have 8 user games going on, so we should have some good competitive action for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you next time for ODU versus Army. Until then, take it easy.